And welcome everyone. We are here at the top of the hour. This is our LinkedIn strategy. Break away from gray. Hot graphic insights and crazy ideas. So welcome to our LinkedIn Live. I'm here with Claire, but before we jump into it, drop me some love. Give me some hearts, emojis, comments. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Excuse me, I'm going to be checking here to see if we are live. Uh-oh, it says I can't even get in. We're going to, starting soon, tap to join. Okay, now I can get in, and it's still pre-live. So we're just going to hold on a second and see if you can see and hear us. Yes. Perfect. It's coming through. Go ahead and drop a comment. As I mentioned before, I'm here with Claire, and she is the colorer innerer, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes. But basically, she's working to save solopreneurs time and energy by creating graphics that attract your ideal clients. That sounds like a dream, doesn't it? With a brand that speaks directly to them. And if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm joining you live from Vienna, Austria. I'm a verbal branding expert, empowering my clients to show up and speak up as confident leaders and expand their influence. And today we're diving deep into the topic of brand, and with Claire's expertise, logos. So we're getting into the graphics of it. So I'm just going to double check again here. It says it's still waiting for me and can't see me. So if you can see or hear me, this still says I'm on the pre-live, but we should be live. Doesn't seem to be going. Are live. Good.
Phew.
Excellent. We are now, that YouTube is not live. YouTube, are you live? You are live. We are live. All right, good. Yes, we are live. Good. So apologies for that. Technology, what we're asking it to do is really, truly amazing. We were talking about that before actually going live, and just it's amazing what we are asking it to do. We're in two different nations and we're broadcasting to the world, which I think is pretty gosh darn exciting. But for some reason, YouTube doesn't want to play nice today. But we are definitely on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to see you. I see we have 8 people here now. So glad to see you. Let's jump in, and we'll just let YouTube figure itself out later. Bless its heart. I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, we will deal with that later. That's what I said. So Claire, thank you for being patient today. We are talking about your brand, your logo, and if you think this is interesting and want to share it with others, please do that now. You can tag them, you can send them the link, invite them to this live session, because we'll definitely take some questions and get some interactions with you. But now I would like to welcome Claire. Welcome, Claire.
Hi.
So glad to have you here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes. And oh, good. And one thing that we mentioned we're going to talk about today is your brand. And I think, what do you think? Is it time for the cat-o-meter? Shall we share the cat-o-meter now?
We should break that out. Yeah.
All right. It's time. And she's been pre-cat-o-metered. Is that a word? Is that a verb? She's been previewed. She's had the preview. This is the cat-o-meter, and I want to know, how do you feel about your brand on LinkedIn? How do you feel about your brand on LinkedIn? Or maybe if you're like, my brand, what's my brand? Your logo. If you have a logo, I have a logo, Claire has a logo. We're going to be talking about logos and brands today. How do you feel about your brand? Are you cat A, B, or C? How are you on the cat-o-meter? Go ahead and drop that in the comments. I see we have 9 people. Welcome. And I do want to warn you, I would love to welcome you with your name and have interactivity with you, but I can't see your name unless you leave a comment. So please leave a comment. Let us know if you can see and hear us. 14 people, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. And the question now on our Catometer is, how do you feel about your brand or your logo here on LinkedIn? I'm seeing some votes coming in. I see Mauro, please correct me on my pronunciation. We've got a letter B. Oh my gosh, look at those hearts, that cat. All right, B, that is good. Claire's giving you the thumbs up as well. Yeah, and I know specifically from speaking with you that you also are launching a new business. So we do wish you luck for that with that, and probably some of the content today could be helpful. We have 15 people joining us here. Let's see some letters popping up in the chat. Let's see those letters. I want to know, where are you with the Catometer, with your brand? Maybe I'll leave that up for a few seconds while I ask Claire my first question. And that's for someone just joining now, just clicking in to join us now, trying to understand what you do and the services you offer. What would you say, what would they get from this session?
Well, I hope they'll get a better understanding of why you need a logo, what a brand is, and that it's not as complicated as you might think. And hopefully you got some takeaways that you can use and apply to what you're doing currently.
So clarity and actionable steps, and it sounds like a bit of confidence too. Can I get all
Absolutely.
three? Ooh,
Yeah, we all.
that would make me feel like Cat B for sure.
I was kind of concerned about what Cat C was feeling. It was,
How would you describe that? It's like
that's like sheer terror, isn't it? Ah,
shock, like I need a logo.
maybe, yeah. Why did I put those colours together?
Do you sometimes get those questions from clients? Like, do you get Cat C as clients? Or would you say they're more Cat A?
It's kind of it kind of varies. I think a lot of people have got an idea. They maybe think it's a little bit crazy, and they don't think they can put all the bits together. But often, all of the ideas that they have do go together. It's just getting them in there in the right way, and it's not necessarily about slapping every single bit in. It's about taking little bits of essence of all of that to get them a logo that kind of shows their personality. And that's kind of the important thing about the logo. It's just to show your personality to your potential clients.
That's something that you're especially good at. You mentioned that in some of the videos I've seen, and you speak about that directly. I think you had one video, you love Dungeons and Dragons. Great, but it doesn't have to be in your logo. But getting that essence, oh, that is just pure gold. I like that. So let's dive in. The chat is quiet. We have 15 people here. I'm super excited you're here. Would love to hear how you're feeling about your logos and your questions about branding. And let's dive in. Let's start in with just logos to start with, because you said a lot of great things to start. And I have a logo, you have a logo. Almost everyone I see on LinkedIn has a logo. So what is the big deal about logos, and who really needs one anyway?
Well, the thing is, we all really need a logo. A logo is really it's just your stamp, just to say, hey, I'm here. And I think, like I said in one of the videos I did recently, that we are all trained to think that a company needs a logo. So if you look for a company, you expect to see a logo. It's kind of expected. So it doesn't have to be anything huge and fancy. It can just be your name. That your name can be your logo. It doesn't have to be an icon and fanciness and all of that. It can just be something simple. So if you're starting out and you don't have a huge budget and you just want your name and that's it, that's fine. But just remember, that's your logo as well, because that's your stamp that you're putting out there for everybody to see.
I like that. And yeah, but you're right. As members in society, we're trained to look for a logo. And if the
Yeah.
name is all we see, we will attach that. I think that's a really deep psychological insight there that makes a lot of sense. And another question is, you talked about this in the importance of a logo. So how would you suggest for someone who's just starting out, maybe they don't even have their name as a logo yet, how would you suggest as the quickest and easiest way to get a logo, to get a graphic, to get started in a way that will speak to my ideal clients?
So the way you speak to your, I mean, when you start out, I mean, we all know this, we've all seen it. You're supposed to know exactly who your ideal client is, and probably like everybody, I do you really know? Probably not. You've probably got an idea, um,
Yeah,
but
it's more like I think it's that person
yeah,
there when you're starting. Maybe that
like,
one.
I know I'm supposed to do this, but really, do I? But some of it might be that you're just trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure out who you like, who you don't like. You might not know, but you might have a really clear idea. It's kind of wherever you are. I think most of us are in the. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do. I know I've got to do the market research. I know I should have exactly who I like, but that doesn't always work. It doesn't work for all of us. Most of us are just sort of giving it a go and hoping for the best,
Learning
um,
by doing.
learning by doing. So actually having a brand and a logo that's your personality, what that will do is it will draw your ideal client, because there are going to be people that like you, because obviously part of it is you, but they also like the way that you present yourself with your colors and your logo. And what it will also do is it will also filter out those people who don't like you, and that's okay. It's okay that people don't like you.
Yes.
It will push away the people that don't. So if you've got a giant goldfish that's doing a dance, that's absolutely fine if that's your personality. Some people are going to look at that and go, I don't really like a giant goldfish. What's that all about? And go away. And other people are going to go, I love that. I'm coming straight to you. So that's really what it's about.
Right.
It's about speaking to your ideal client with kind of without realizing it. It's kind of like sort of again a bit of psychology, and it's bringing people to you that you want to work with, that make you happy, give you joy, so that you can both work together, and work on whatever project it is, and have a really good outcome, wonderful outcome for both of you, because you've enjoyed it, they've enjoyed it. That's what you want.
And I just wanted to make a quick note. We were at 18 people here live. Hello, hello, hello to every single one of you. So glad you're here. You can pop questions in the comments. You can click the emojis. They have some emojis there. Click that. Give us some feedback. Drop some letters. Drop some questions. Just give us emojis, hearts, or whatever you have. Let us know you're there. We're trying to connect with you. And I think, Claire, you mentioned something really fantastic at that moment. You said it's about attracting your client and also repelling the ones that just aren't a good match, that are just not a good
Yeah.
match. And I think that's really hard when people are first starting out or first getting involved in business, and just saying like, well, why would I want to send anyone away? um,
Yeah.
and that's part of it. That's part of it. It's necessary, because otherwise you're wasting not only this potential client's time but your time as well, if it's not a good match. If it's not a
That's
good
it.
match. So if you heard any aha moments, like anything that you thought, oh, this is gold, Elizabeth didn't even notice it, this is gold, write that in the comments. We want to hear from you. Go ahead and let us know what you heard today that you don't want to forget. And I interrupted you, Claire. We have 18
That's
people
okay.
now. Hello. What did you want to say?
I was just going to say, I think when you start out, you're so terrified that you're not going to make money if you say no to people. But there is absolutely no point in working with somebody that just isn't a match for you. It's going to suck your energy, it's going to suck your time, and it isn't going to go well, and it isn't going to be good for you.
Mm-mm.
So, I know it's really hard to be brave and just say no to some people, but it's okay to do that. You need to work with people
Yeah.
that you like working with. That's the whole point of working for yourself at the end of the day. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I heard an analogy once. Someone told me it's like you're when you're trying to get to a destination from A to B, and maybe you don't know the way, you're getting lost, you're wandering around. But when you realize you're not going towards your destination, why would you keep going in that wrong direction?
yeah, absolutely.
That it's always better to say no, turn around, and keep heading towards your direction, even though you may get lost on the way. And I thought, wow, that's That's powerful. That's
That's quite,
powerful.
yeah, that's very deep for lunchtime, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I did say this was a light lunch. Wait a minute. And now let's jump into to your I think you have a special flavor in the work that you do, and we have 21 people here now. Thank you for joining us, adding value. You offer a lot of encouragement for people who want to break away from the standard, and you say things for your crazy ideas, and you even have some of your own in your logo. So take us on this journey. Why is this important to you? Why is this part of your brand?
It's it's partly because I've worked somewhere for 16 years doing the same thing over and over and over again. So for me, it's a break away from that to find out what I want to do, find out what I love doing. So the kind of the crazier the better. Just for experimenting, seeing what I can do as well. It's not just it isn't just a sort of a journey to fight to do something for a client to see what we can do for them. It's a little bit of I'm a bit selfish at doing it for me as well to see what I can do that's different and unusual and find something that I love doing. And genuinely I love colouring
And
in. I always have
stretches your
done.
boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's about it includes the thing I like doing, which is colouring in, and it's stretching the boundaries. And I think sometimes people think that they have to have this in the box logo, in the box brand that that everybody has. I've got to match everybody else, and you don't. You can have whatever you want. This is you. This is your personality. This is you in the world, putting yourself out there. It's scary, but you are the thing that's selling
Mm.
your what you do. So your logo and your brand needs to represent you. It doesn't have to be the same grey as everybody else.
Right. And I know definitely in certain industries, and we can all probably think of them ourselves, like even fast food restaurants, a lot of the logos are quite similar, aren't they?
Yeah,
There's a certain standard. Or banks, airlines.
yeah,
There
and
tend to be some patterns there in whatever industry you're in.
there is, and you've got to consider that there's an expectation on one side from clients for certain things. So certain logos definitely wouldn't work, but
No.
you can soften things. You can still put your personality in. You can still have your crazy idea, but you can still kind of smush into what people are. I'm going to pick something like an accountant.
Expectations.
Yeah, if you're an accountant,
Yeah.
there's an certain expectation, but if you're an accountant that's a little bit different, that's got something a little bit different, then you know people are going to go, oh, okay, they're an accountant, but they look like they're fun, and they can be. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's that kind
Wait,
of it's
a fun accountant?
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they're out there definitely. It's not boring,
They
honest.
are. They are. I have a really
But
good friend who's an accountant. So drop some comments if you know people who are in gray box jobs, stereotypical, normal, but are amazing, wonderful people that we know and love. Absolutely. And why shouldn't that come out in the logo? Speaking of logos, speaking of crazy ideas, let's talk about your logo. If you haven't seen her logo yet, I want you to it's in the banner for this event, and also I want you to connect with both Claire and I after this event if we're not already connected. Check out her logo, and I've heard there's now I'm assuming since this is something so dear to your heart, you have a story for your logo.
yeah, it's just a bit of a crazy story. So the little
I
pink
mean,
bear
you can tell how much you want or how much you don't want that made you say this is what I want for my logo.
is fine. The pink bear is a bear that we have. And a very long time ago, my husband was emptying his change out of his pocket and chucking it on the bed where this bear sits, and a 20p landed at his feet. And so it became a bit of a joke. I said, well, you've got to be careful. He's going to think he needs pocket money now of 20p. And it sort of became a running joke. So when I was doing anything, 20 pence productions went on when I made cards or anything went on when I was doing that. And then when it came to me setting up for myself, I'm like, well, it has to be 20 pence productions because that's just how it is. So that's how it kind of
That's
came around.
it. Oh, that's a beautiful story. I love that.
So there is a little bit crazy
That is a really
in
lovely
that
story.
logo. So
Yeah. That's really sweet. And it gives you a memory of that day, and which, I mean, for most people, taking chains out of our pocket or whatever, like, not something we remember for years to come.
no,
But
most
it
of us
was
are
a
going to go,
special
"What's
moment for the
change? I
two
don't
of you.
understand." Yeah.
We are moving along, and I'd like to get into a bit of this colorer, innerer, and your story. How did you choose to follow this line of work and this path? How did you find your story?
Well, I started out, and I thought I wanted to do graphic design, and then I went to art college, and when you're sort of 17, all your decisions are based on very sensible things. Like I don't like the tutors; they're weird. I don't want to do graphic design. I'm going to do interior design instead. Like literally, that's what your life decision was based on, which is just not a sensible thing, really.
Or wait, which class my best friend is in?
That
Or
one as well. Yeah, yeah. My best friend's over here, so I better be in this class. So I actually went off and did interior design. I did. I won a competition as well, so I had 2 weeks work experience in America for designing a kitchen, which was great. So that was a great experience. Um,
wow,
and then obviously came back and worked in kitchen design. But then I set myself up in business, and that didn't go well. And I got glandular fever. I got ill. Met my husband, went to buy a house, get married. So it was like, well, I need a job because you've got to have this steady
yeah.
income to pay the bills. And I applied for a job and didn't realise that it was actually really graphic design. It was badly advertised, and I ended up getting that job based on the fact I was less weird than the other woman. It's just literally how they picked me. Just nice. But it ended up being something that I was actually really, really good at. So it was building estate agents' brochures into a
And you came,
software. Came full circle and came back to really what I wanted to do. And then after I was
wow.
made redundant, I decided that I'd spent a long time just doing that niche thing. I wanted to do a bit more crazy stuff. So crazy logos and crazy colouring in. So that's kind of how that came about.
Love the empowerment piece, because empowerment is something very dear to my heart. And this empowerment piece, when you speak about your clients, when you speak about people who have unique stories or unique interests or passions, and you don't say, well, no, we need to be professional here, or well, no, what will other people think? From your brand, from your presence, from your LinkedIn, everything about you on LinkedIn, I feel encouragement about this, and just embracing the creativeness. And for example, for those of you who haven't seen her videos yet, they're wonderful, and she uses Lego, which is not a typical graphic designer, or even her title, the colorer innerer. I mean, it already starts to, well, it makes my tongue play, for sure, but it also starts to get my brain working. What is that? What is a colorer innerer? And the graphic of her logo, yeah, I sound very American when I say that. I can say it. I hear it. I hear it. Give me a comment if you hear it. And I see 12 of you are here with us right now. Thank you. We're so glad to have you. And Claire, you've been oh no, I thought I saw another comment, because sometimes I don't get the comments. There was a weird situation in the past. So I'm sorry if I don't see your comments. We'll respond afterwards. We have a few minutes left, and I want to speak about some of the new activities you've been involved in. You've been doing more videos, which is one of the ways that we got to know each other better, is through your
Yeah.
videos. And I just really felt that triggered the know, like, and trust response. And then we started talking, and ta-da, we have a LinkedIn
Yeah.
Live. So what's your experience with videos and now a LinkedIn Live? Tell us about that and your journey so far.
So I'd seen people doing videos, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's too scary. I'm not doing it. It was like on the list, but like way down the bottom somewhere. And I went to Ashley Griffiths, one of his masterminds, and he kind of said in there that it's a really good way to talk to your audience, be introduced to your audience. It takes out some of that. They get to know you before they even sort of come on a call with you. And it's underutilized. People don't use it. And I was like, that kind of was like a little light bulb for me. And I was like, okay, I can see how that is a good idea. But then it was like, I left it because I wasn't brave enough to do it. So then I did actually work with Ash, and it was so much fun to get through that. Just helped me get through that first video that included Lego, because Lego's awesome. Um, and and then I've sort of gone from there, and it's like anything that you do, it's scary at first, and then each time you do it, it's a little bit less scary. And it's just about being yourself, which I haven't done for a long time. I've been what everybody else expected me to be. So to actually just be a bit honest, and I know, okay, there's silly videos with all the Lego stuff. Okay, somebody might say it's not professional, but it's about being creative. It's about being myself. It's just about having a bit of fun, because we've only got one life, so you might as well have some fun while you're doing it. And that's
Absolutely.
sort of where I am now. LinkedIn Live's new as well, so this will be the first one. So that wasn't terrifying at all.
High five. Watching now live, give her a high five. Here she is on her first LinkedIn live, like doing an awesome job, dropping gold. No, she's dropping platinum here about logos, about videos, about starting your own business, about fears and things that hold us back, and being brave and courageous. And here she is doing it live for you in front of your face. So she's not just talking about it like, oh, you should do this. Like, she's doing it right here. I find this so inspiring. And follow up question. So, what advice would you give to an earlier you, or someone who now is just starting out with video content or with LinkedIn Lives? What advice would you give?
Just do it. I know I'm making that from somebody else, but just do it,
Who?
because I know there's some famous company somewhere. Uh, I think just I know it's scary, and I know that it's difficult to do it, and you're going to be in your own head, and you're going to be telling yourself you can't do it. Just don't. Just do it. It's not, the world will not explode. The world did not explode after I posted the first video. Thankfully for everybody, it was a relief. But you'll find actually that I find LinkedIn really great for support, and people saying, yeah, this is really great, and getting involved, and just support and encouragement is great.
Yes.
And it's going to be scary. Everything's scary before you've done it. But if you just take that little step forward and just have a go, and then just have another go, and just have another go, it will get less scary. It's like commenting for the first time on LinkedIn. I mean, it took me probably about 3 hours to just put my first comment on. So, and there was hot sweats and panics, and yeah, but once I did it, nothing drastic happened, and then I did it again, and nothing, and it just, so yeah, it's scary, but you just have to give it a go, and I promise the world won't explode. Well, I hope it
Yeah,
won't.
I think this is really, really great. No, absolutely. I think this is great advice. And I like the parallel you made to, putting your first profile photo up, to making your first comment. And it's intimidating. It's a new uncharted territory in a way. But the more you do it, the more you get positive feedback, or any kind of feedback. It helps us grow and learn. And I also would like to highlight that Claire reached out to Ashley and had, it's a wonderful strength and skill to find someone who matches you, who matches your personality, who can meet you on your journey, whatever that is, that can help you go through with ease. so that you don't have to do it alone. In fact, you shouldn't do it alone. That's what the social network is about, right? And most people here are wonderful people. I've met many wonderful people. For example, the person sitting next to me right now. And so, yeah, I think LinkedIn Live, especially if you curate your feed, you can have wonderful conversations, wonderful interactions, learn a lot, support each other. And I think your advice is great, to just start. To
Yeah.
start is the most difficult part. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, you'll know that my mission is to empower you to do live events. So my question for you is, do you want to join me? Claire's done it and she survived. Wait, you're still alive, right? Yeah,
I
yeah.
am. Yeah,
Oh,
nothing
we got a
exploded.
thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Nothing has
verbally,
exploded yet.
nothing exploded
So
yet,
for
so
those
we're all
who,
good.
you'll have to check their feed after this is finished. No, of
Yeah,
course.
just to,
You're
make
doing
sure, but
beautifully.
I think we're good.
Leave. I'm gonna share a screen. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share, you'll see the cat-o-meter again for a short second, and you can tell us with the cats, how do you feel about this session? How do you feel after listening to this session? Are you exhausted? Another meeting. Are you cat B, like, I love all the gold? Or are you cat C because you're shocked because Claire did so well on her first live stream? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So even
I'm
if you're
definitely
listening
C.
on the replay, you're definitely C.
I'm very sure.
You're shocked. I'm shocked you're shocked. No, I am feeling cat B all the way. I'm so happy for the people who are here, who stayed till the end. Really appreciate that. We're going to be finishing up, but if you have any questions, still feel free to drop them there. We can follow up afterwards. And a quick quiz. If you're interested in going live with me, take this quiz. It's a go live with ease, go live with confidence on LinkedIn with a live readiness quiz. You can take that quiz. It takes, believe it or not, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes, and you get a full report on the 4 pillars of doing a LinkedIn Live and how ready you are. So I'll leave that up for a few minutes. And if you haven't already, please connect with me and please connect with Claire. You can find both of our profiles in the description for this event. We really appreciate you coming out and joining us for this conversation, and we wish you a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.